The Dunlop Series cars are on the grid, and Rihanna's down there too.
Thanks, Barretts. It's been a huge year for the Dunlop Series, and it all wraps up here at Sydney Olympic Park. This guy, Cameron Waters, pole position number 5. Cam, congratulations.
Yeah, thank you. The qualifying today went really well. We made the car a bit better overnight, and yeah, managed to put it on pole again.
It's a big race. The Dunlop Series champion has been crowned. That was Paul Dumbrell, but second place, just like in the main game, is well and truly up for grabs.
Yeah, it is. I'm currently third, and I think I need to win this race, and I think Ash needs to finish third, I think. So, yeah, I'll be racing for a race win, that's for sure.
You've got clear track in front of you. Good luck.
Thank you.
And we are going to go and have a quick chat to our Dunlop Series champion. We crowned him at the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000, and that is Paul Dumbrell. He's sitting here on third place on the grid. PD, we crowned you as the Dunlop Series champion at the Bathurst 1000, but this one, you want to get the race win to finish off the year.
Absolutely. No, we've had a great back end of the year, and you know, great track here. The car's really good so far this weekend. So eyes forward, got to get past these two guys ahead of me and end the year off on a strong note.
Paul, there's a lot of chat about what you're going to do in your future, as there has been for many years. Will we see you on a grid in some way in 2015?
Let's hope so. Let's hope so. So working towards that. Would love to partner up with Jamie again next year. We've had a good couple of years, so hopefully we can continue the partnership.
Good luck, PD.
Thank you.
Yes, Paul Dumbrell, great driver and far from done. Rihanna, thanks very much. OK, it's just about time to race, so let's join Greg Murphy and Aaron Noonan.
And Barretts, the fight for second in the Dunlop Series is really raging. There's just 77 points, Murph, between the 4 drivers that are second through to 5th on the points table. Ash Walsh second, Cam Waters here on pole is third, Chris Pither and Andre Heimgartner. They're all in the mix, and they're all pretty much at the front of the grid here too for this second and final race of the season and the weekend.
Yeah, well, the way it worked out yesterday, we closed up that fight. Ash Walsh got a bad start, had to come back through the field, got a drive-through penalty for an involvement with an incident with the young Kiwi, Mr. Pedersen, and that caused a bit of a shuffle in those points. And as you said, only 12 points between second and third. Cam Waters on pole. What a great drive to get that pole position today.
We'll keep you updated with how the points are all adding up as this race rolls on through. 26 cars to take the grid. Kurt Kostecki, 16 years of age. He made his V8 debut yesterday. Made us feel really quite old. 16 years and 5 months at racing in a V8 supercar. Stay with us after the break. The final race of the 2014 Dunlop Series here on the streets of Sydney Olympic Park. The walls of memorabilia, but we're getting ready for the final Dunlop Series race of 2014. Cam Waters will start from pole in the NZ Ford for Ford Performance Racing. Andre Heimgartner is alongside in the Finance Easy Ford, but it's all about Greg Murphy, the fight for second in the points. Paul Dumbrell is the champ. Forget about him. He will be contending for a race win, but he's got the title. Ash Walsh, Cam Waters, Chris Pither, Andre Heimgartner, they are all in with a red-hot shot of finishing runner-up.
And with the qualifying the way it was this morning, the switch around Waters, he put everyone on notice with an amazing time to be half a second ahead of the rest of the field. Ash Walsh under pressure now. He's got to finish within a couple of spots of Cam Waters. There's only 12 points between them.
Of course, Ash Walsh, this is his last race in the Dunlop Series. He moves on in 2015. He takes Lee Holdsworth's spot at Erebus Motorsport in the number 4 Mercedes-Benz, but he was the runner-up in the series here in Dunlop Series last year. He's been a regular contender all year. Crashed at Bathurst. That pretty much ended his hopes of stopping Dumbrell from taking his second crown. So it's Waters and Heimgartner on the front row. Paul Dumbrell and Ash Walsh on the second row. Aaron Russell, another great. He's improved his personal best. He's qualified 5th. He finished 3rd yesterday. The Kiwi Ant Pedersen starts from 6th. Then Taz Douglas, Andrew Jones, Todd Hazelwood and Gary Jacobson. That is the top 10. 26 cars set to line up. Down the back there, Jim Potosina and Aaron McGill lining up on the 13th row of the grid. So green flag at the back. 23 laps for this final race of 2014. Who can finish runner-up? Who can win one more race before the curtain comes down on the season? 5-second board is out. Got to be careful not to roll on this start line. It's a little downhill down Australia Avenue. Waters nails it. He nailed qualifying and he's nailed the start. He's off and running. Dumbrell through to second. Ash Walsh down the outside. He'll be 3rd before turn 1.
Well, Walsh got away a lot better than yesterday. It was very costly for him,
wasn't it? Oh, James Golding just got squeezed with Matt Hansen there.
Oh, Paul Dumbrell finishing the season on a low point.
And that
car is badly damaged. Eggleston Motorsport Commodore is not going any further. We're going to see a safety car undoubtedly after that one. What a shocker. Heimgartner got away slowly, tried to make up a little bit there at the finish. Aaron Russell's a big winner into second position before they get to turn 6.
So that's behind. That's Andrew Jones and Case Douglas. I was too busy watching what was going on behind Dumbrell. That was an incident was going on up in front down the road. That car's got severe right rear damage. So,
well, the championship, the fight for second in this championship is well open because Heimgartner got caught up with Dumbrell there. That will be looked into. There's a safety car now on the track to clear that up.
Yellow flags out. Race neutralised, and all that work from Cam Waters to get that big lead disappears.
But he does sit there at the front in the perfect position for the restart for this race. So he's doing everything right. There's the very damaged car down at turn 1 of Paul Dumbrell. The rear of that car, obviously you can see. And what a shame for him to finish in that way. He'll be disappointed with that. Got the championship though, but no one wants to end a season like that.
No, damaged race car, obviously. There's a bit of a build there. Let's have a look at a replay at the start. Waters on pole.
I nailed it. Very slow to get the initial launch going, and then he bobbed it, he got going, but that caused trouble. We've got a...
That was Macaulay Jones in the Rockstar car, yeah. Which, in a way, wasn't a bad thing because he missed the drama that went on around turn 1. Waters nails the start. Heimgartner just explodes in a wheel spin.
And Dumbrell, he was already past Heimgartner before they even got to the end of the pit wall there. He goes to the outside for the line. Walsh is cautious. Heimgartner just a little bit too deep, just the smallest of touches. Aaron Russell there into the back of Heimgartner also.
And then watch for this. Oh, James Golding in the Dragon car. He and Matt Hansen tried to squeeze through.
I think that car of Paul Dumbrell's would have managed. Oh, yeah, hardly any damage there at that point. He would have continued on. Oh.
Wrong place, wrong time for those boys.
And that actually wouldn't be a very nice feeling for Paul. Sitting there, seeing everybody stream past him like that, and then the last second, just that touch.
That's very disappointing for James Golding's debut weekend in the Dunlop Series to finish. Damage to the Dragon Commodore. We're under safety car. Cam Waters leads the way. Aaron Russell second. Andre Heimgartner third, and Andrew Jones sits in P4 as the champ walks back to pit lane. Back at City Olympic Park under safety car here for the final race of the year in the Dunlop Series. Cam Waters leads the way at slow speed. Aaron Russell is second from Andre Heimgartner. Paul Dumbrell, the champ-elect in the Dunlop Series, is out of this race. His car too badly damaged. First corner collision, Greg Murphy, and Andre Heimgartner, who sits third on the road at the moment, was involved. You just about have to expect that there's going to be a penalty come for the young Kiwi. Let's have a look at the replay again.
Well, he's down the inside. He got a bad start from the front row, just didn't get away, and it looked like everything was going to be okay. Paul Dumbrell comes right across. Not his fault, taking his line, I believe. And Heimgartner was just there. The touch was very small, but this is where it all turned bad for the Eggleston Motorsport driver, our champion. Got hit there very late in the piece. You can see the touch. Rotates through everyone, clambers all over the place to get through. Ash Walsh was a loser. Lost a few spots, and there's that big hit right at the finish that takes the right rear off Paul Dumbrell's car.
Paul Dumbrell, I think you might have had a chance to see that replay as you're walking back up. That's certainly not the way you wanted to end your championship year.
No, it is really tough going into turn 1 of this track, but yeah, just saw that. Hadn't really seen what had happened other than getting hit in the rear, so I think Andre got a little bit ahead of himself and just tagged me there. So, hey, really disappointing way to end for the Eggleston Motorsport team. We've had a great year, haven't had any real issues, and we've had a lot of speed. So, would have nice to do a few burnouts at the end of the day. I'll just have to maybe save that for the car park later on.
Thanks, Peter.
No,
I would advise PD doesn't do that.
Yeah.
I remember got HRT in trouble one day at Eastern Creek, did it not many moons ago?
And here we go, the restart. Cam Waters in control at the front of the field after that awesome qualifying lap. Got down to turn 1, nice and clean, stayed out of trouble. They streamed through. Aaron Russell, a great job to avoid the Carters to get up to second spot after that fantastic finish yesterday where he got into third spot.
And now, Greg, the pressure is back on Ash Walsh. He's back in the pack. He's 7th. He's got his Matt Stone teammate.
He's had to do a lot of that this year.
Now, Todd Hazelwood in front is his teammate. He doesn't make it difficult. That's one more spot. But he needs to get up. From our numbers, if Waters wins, he's got to be third because that will tie them on points.
That's right.
But Ash has won more races, so he would be the runner-up in the Dunlop Series. So he's got some work to do.
I can't can't imagine Tez Douglas is going to make it too easy for him. Coming back into the series here at Homebush for a bit of a one-off, but here is Walsh looking racy. Yesterday he made a few mistakes. Obviously the start was bad for him, and then he got a drive-through after pushing in. He's on the inside.
He's unloaded Douglas right in front of the field.
2-2.
Oh, and Pedersen involved. Marcus Akanovic avoids somehow. I thought he was going in.
Well, that is really disappointing to see that happening. Ash Walsh, a bad judgment error.
Safety car out, Greg. Safety car for the second time in the Dunlop series, and that's a tricky corner. It's not really, it's a passing opportunity if you've got it done before you get there. Taz Douglas, the image forward, is smashed at Pedersen. The Eggleston Commonwealth, they've got two bashed cars now.
He's going to have to park that up.
Yeah, that's not going to make it back.
Douglas, that's just going to do more damage if he continues on, which he's doing the right thing here. Well, I am really disappointed to see the outcome here of this race. Ash Walsh a long way back.
No.
Taz Douglas was committed. There was nowhere he was going to be able to go.
No.
He had to take the corner, and look at the carnage that ensued behind.
Poor Ant Pedersen, not his fault. Lucky for the rest of those guys. I thought Zakanovic was going to be going in there, but Ash Walsh needed to remember.
This is a really difficult place to pass too,
It is,
Aaron.
but there's 17 more laps. He didn't need to be trying to do that.
A really difficult place to pass. You've got to be so far inside to get that happening. And what it does, it really puts the guy on the outside in no position at all, really, to do anything. He's committed to the corner. And that wall, the tyre barrier where Taz is going into now, comes up so quickly because it actually closes. The corner closes as you get closer to the outside of it. Oh, look at the carnage.
And it just plucks that right rear panel straight off on contact with Ant Pedersen, who he's coming over the curb. The car's unloaded. It lands. It's still settling. He can't change its trajectory or its direction. It's going in.
It's a shame to see that this little fight that we've been so excited to see has been determined by this kind of action, not being determined by, hard-fought racing that is fair on the track. Wow. Look at the door.
Peeled that rear guard. Oh, Marcus Akanovic was so close. This was further down the road under safety car. This stuff shouldn't be going on. Dan Day looks like he got a right front puncture and doesn't make the corner and heads off down the escape road. Here it is from another angle. Contact on Taz Douglas, of course. He was the runner-up at Bathurst this year with James Moffat and the Kiwi Ant Pedersen involved. Have a look behind those. Zakanovic sideways managed to avoid. Unbelievable. You see there, Gary Jacobson picked up some...
There's Day there. It just made contact just out of shot at the bottom right-hand side. There was contact there.
And Gary Jacobson in the third Eggleston car, he picked up some damage. He's just come to pit lane. Haven't they had a great day?
I'm with Rachel Wagg, the team manager from Eggleston Motorsport. Rachel, disappointing end to the championship year. 3 cars at the moment with damage.
Yeah, look, it's very disappointing. This is definitely not the way we wanted to end the year. We were going out on a high, obviously, having already taken the championship, but that's racing. We've got to keep going, and that's what we'll do. So we'll salvage what we can out of this, and we'll still celebrate at the end of the day, so that's all we can do.
Thanks, Rachel.
Thank you.
They've had a very good year. They won the V8 Touring Car Crown, and they've also won the Dunlop Series, but they've got some damage to repair before 2015. We'll take a break. Under safety car here on the streets of Sydney Olympic Park. Final race of the year for the Dunlop Series. Well, there's something for everybody at the Sydney NRMA 500, and if you like your old school, well, we've got it covered. The Heritage Touring Cars, Murphy, here this weekend with Group A and C cars, the Bathurst-winning Jag. Some bloke that drove with Win Percy's car as well. I've never heard of him, but nevertheless, it's here as well. The old Holden Racing Team Commodore, 70s, 80s, 90s, really well represented. They've been doing demos here every day in Sydney. Let's have a look at the highlights so far of the Dunlop Series. Hasn't been much green flag racing, I've got to say, but this is what happened at turn 1.
Yeah, listen, we're looking at that. We've looked at it a few times now. Poor old Paul Dumbrell, he came from the outside, maybe, as we discussed off here, Andre Heimgardt didn't see him where he was positioned. He's turned in, took his line, and Andre was just down the inside. Obviously, we had that safety car, we cleared up, and then this happened. Ash Walsh in a hurry. Too much of a hurry to try and claim that second spot in the championship. Gets into the back, into the side of Taz Douglas, and the damage that was caused. Here it is, replay in slow-mo. A huge amount. And Pedersen was caught up in it. Not good at all.
And that's left Cam Waters as the leader of the race, the pole man in the NZ Ford for Ford Performance Racing. Aaron Russell sits in second. Andrew Jones is third. We are still under safety car here on the streets of Sydney Olympic Park.
afternoons, we made the announcement at the Super Cheap Auto Bathurst 1000 that Renee Gracie would be joining the Dunlop Series in 2015. Renee, Paul Morris Motorsport is where you will be heading. You'll be joining this chaos next year.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I'm excited or a bit nervous, but should be good. Thought I'd come spectate this weekend, gonna get my mind off Porsche and get into V8 racing mode. So, no, it's been good. I'm looking forward to it. I've got a test day in a few weeks. So, yeah, looking forward to the new year and who knows what it can hold.
You have been racing in the Porsche Carrera Cup season this year, but very different to the Dunlop Series next year.
Yeah, extremely different. A lot more carnage, although the last few rounds of Porsche weren't that nice. But, no, I'm looking forward to it. A lot more horsepower. These things are obviously heavier compared to a Porsche 4-door, compared to 2-door. Engines in the rear, these have them in the front. So there's a lot of differences I'm going to have to get used to, but I'm looking forward to it.
We're very much looking forward to having you on the grid. Good luck next year, Renee.
Thank you.
She'll be with us in 2015 in the Dunlop Series. There's so much going on around here. It's actually hard to get around because the precinct's so big and there's so much going on for the kids and the family. And oh, Murph, I could go one of those right now.
Excited, Aaron. Don't get excited.
Very fast. That's perfect timing. Event merchandise as well. No matter which team or driver you support, there's something for everybody here at Sydney Olympic Park. Dunlop Series under safety car restart not too far away. We've had 2 accidents so far. We've had 2 safety car periods. Let's hope we can get this one back underway and get a green flag run right through the end for the final race of the season. Cam Waters will lead us away. He's trying to get second in the title. Had a race win earlier in the year at Winton. He'd love to grab another one before the curtain comes down on 2014. Restart this time by the end of lap 8. Aaron Russell second, then Andrew Jones. Ash Walsh is 4th, but with an asterisk next to his name because he was involved in the accident with Taz Douglas that caused this last safety car period.
Waters, great restart again, in control of this one. Aaron Russell's the impressive performer this weekend for me. Waters, it's surprising that he hasn't had more race wins this year. We've talked about a lot. He's been up the front. He's been caught up in a bit of controversy. At the moment, he is doing everything right and leaving it to all the other contenders for that second spot to make the mistakes.
We saw Cam pair up with Jack Perkins in the Gelweng car for the Enduros. Sounds like we'll see him back in the Dunlop Series next year. He'd obviously be a prime candidate to form part of the co-driver lineup next year at Ford Performance Racing for those Enduros, and he's sprinting here as they get this one back underway. Got to say, Aaron Russell, the Plus Fitness Ford, he finished on the podium at Ipswich earlier in the year. This is an old Jim Beam, Stephen Johnson car. Someone's got to look at this kid for the Enduros next year. He is doing a really good job.
He's just come on so much. We've seen him in there doing the job. There's the driving infringement for car 87, PLP. So here he looks down the inside again to get another spot. Ash Walsh, he hasn't given up. He's still pushing hard regardless of what's about to be given to him on the radio. He'll have to drive through. No surprises there. There was a big mistake that he made, taking out Ed Peterson. So he is having a rough weekend, a real rough weekend, considering next year we're going to see him in the Erebus team. Makes the call now, dives in. Still got a lot of laps to go, but I think his second place in this championship, as long as Cam Waters continues to do what he's doing, that race is over.
He needs to be 3rd or better to be able to stop Waters from being the runner-up, so this will send him right down the back. He's going to need a miracle from here in, so this is a shame for what's been another competitive year for he in the Dunlop Series. The infant's friend Ford from Matt Stone Racing, his 3rd year with that team in the category. So that opens up the fight for 3rd spot. Andrew Jones, Todd Hazelwood, the Bathurst champ Paul Morris, then Chris Pither. Don't forget Pither's actually part of this whole conglomerate of drivers who could finish runner-up. Dan Day, Kurt Kostecki, that's down at turn 1. Arco plate forward in the wall and trying to find reverse and get out of here. So the young 16-year-old on debut.
He's had a tough debut.
Yeah, he's had a bit of everything. As we go back to this fight for 3rd place with Jones, Hazelwood, Morris, Pither. And Todd Hazelwood's another young guy that's done a great job. First full year in the Dunlop Series for the former open-wheel driver, but there's Waters pushing away in that NZ Ford. Aaron Russell, though, not letting him get too far away. His pace was quite good yesterday. Black flag, Gary Jacobson. From what I saw earlier, there's a bit of debris hanging off the side of that car. Dan Day. Oh, Kostecki was already stopped, and Dan Day's fired on in. Out of control.
There we go. There's Kostecki.
Oh, he got a touch. He got a touch with Jim Policina. It's all happening today.
That was very lucky that those two cars didn't meet in the tyres. Here's a replay, and there's Day arriving just after down the side of the 28 of Kostecki.
And you just saw car 54, Gary Jacobson, with the rear bumper loose. That's why he's been black flag. In fact, no, pit lane penalty for weaving after the safety car lights are out. So it's hard to keep up with what's going on here in this final race of the season. The boys have got the gloves off, getting stuck into it. This is the fight for third. Todd Hazelwood looks quite menacing here.
Very, very much so. And he had a great race today. I think we put the mocker on him, though. He was doing a fantastic run, driving superbly, and then very late in the piece, made a mistake, got it all wrong, and had a DNF to finish the day. But here he is, qualified well again, behind Andrew Jones, who looks to be struggling a bit. He's putting the pressure on. Paul Morris behind. And Pither behind him, who is in that fight for second place in the championship, with Walsh having that drive through right down the back. That potentially is going to change things in that second, third, fourth positions dramatically, with Waters out the front, commanding this race. Albeit Aaron Russell 2.4 seconds behind. There we go, Hazelwood just showing his Falcon's nose to Andrew Jones. There's Pither, the Ice Break Commodore.
Just smashing away on some numbers, but if it stays as it is, with Ash Walsh buried, with Heimgartner, very possible that Pither could actually leapfrog his way up to third in the points. Obviously, Cam Waters on target to grab the runner-up spot while he's out in front leading the race. So we'll keep you abreast of how all the numbers are ticking out. Kim Jones watching on. Brad Jones racing runs. Oh, they run the Chris Pither car, but they also run this car, the Rockstar machine of Macaulay Jones, Brad's son. And he's pulled up.
Yeah, in the pit entry there. It could possibly actually, on the angle here, we can't quite see, but it could be blocking the pit entry. But Andrew Jones is backing these guys up. There's no question about that. Morris getting some air in the front of the United Video Falcon. They just got the United Fuels Falcon. Hazelwood just loose under brakes as he goes into turn 2, 3, 4. The pressure is on here. This track is so demanding, as we've spoken about all weekend. The curbs here, these cars bouncing over them. The violence that you feel inside driving one is like nothing else we have anywhere else in the championship at all. So it's a huge learning curve for some of these guys. Here's Macaulay Jones' car. It's right in the centre of pit lane.
And safety car's been called. So for the third time, and he's hit the wall there. He's pancaked it down the side of the concrete, I would say.
No, safety car scramble.
There's his dad, Brad Jones, watching on, and I'd say that's probably got damaged steering. So that car's stranded at pit entry, and it is half blocking the entry to pit lane. So for the third time in this final race, we have the safety car going out onto the road. Cam Waters still the leader. Andrew Jones there in third, so we slow it down. It's been a long effort just to get to halfway in this final race of the series. Green and white Ford is going through their new look car this weekend. That's Shay Davies, Porsche Carrera Cup driver, who's making his Dunlop Series debut. Let's have a look here at the replay, and Macaulay's just trying to limp it back, but it won't turn. And he's slammed the wall again. It sort of bounced him back.
Then I'm picking it's not going to turn again.
No. And hence why he is stranded. He's turning left, but the car will not respond. It's all not lining up, so he's stranded. Safety car's on the road.
It's broken the steering. I think I could read Brad's lips. So disappointing for him. It's a huge, steep learning curve. He did a great job yesterday.
Did a really good job. Finished from ninth on the grid. So that's the highest we've seen him run in his rookie year in the Dunlop Series. Come out of Formula Ford and karts, but we're under safety car here. Lap 12 on the streets of Sydney.
Brad Jones, unfortunately, a disappointing way for Macaulay to finish off the season. I haven't been able to find out what's wrong with Macaulay's car at the moment. Can you tell us?
Well, the steering's jammed, it's locked, so he can't turn it left or right. So it's unfortunate, really. He's had a really good weekend this weekend, and you know, he's just come back from Scotland where he's been doing some FIA stuff. So it would have been nice to go out with a bit of a result, but he stalled at the start, and then he's fought his way back up, but now he's got a problem, so that's unfortunate.
The good news for your team, however, Andy Jones sitting nicely up there in the top 5, and Chris Pither is in this fight for the top positions in the championship.
Absolutely. Unfortunately, I don't think that safety car was what we need for Chris Pither, so that's unfortunate, but we still got a long way to go, and hopefully Jonesy can end up on the podium and Chris can end up in the right spot in the championship.
Thanks, Brad.
No worries. Thank you.
They run 3 cars in the Dunlop Series, 3 in the main game, 3 in the DVS. It's a very busy Albury workshop that puts this whole program together. So we're under safety car here as the Rockstar Energy Drinks Commodore is stranded. Macaulay Jones at least doesn't have to walk far back to pit lane. Let's have a look at the highlights so far. And Murph, it's been more of a smash fest than a race at the moment. Cam Waters got the lead. Turn 1, though, was where it all went wrong for Paul Dumbrell. His car too badly damaged right about now. He's out, even though he's the champ for the season.
So disappointing to see that. There was hardly a mark on it until those couple of cars there were fighting. Didn't see him sitting there. Here, where it all went wrong again for Ash Walsh this weekend. Made a move up the inside of Taz Douglas. Turn 8, and we don't need to commentate too much about what happened next. A lot of damage. Ash Walsh received a PLP, obviously, for that little indiscretion. Cam Waters has been leading right from the start, got a great jump. Hasn't had to do too much work except just stay out of trouble, unlike Dan Day.
He has been in a little bit of it. Lucky not to clean up Kurt Kostecki, who was sitting in the tyre wall. And then this is why the third safety car is out. Macaulay Jones, some contact damage to the steering, and he could not turn that car into pit lane. So hence why safety car is on the road here in Sydney in the 7th and final round of the Dunlop Series. It's still Cam Waters who leads the way, and we're still trying to determine who will finish runner-up in 2014.
One man who knows this Dunlop Series extremely well is Nick Percat. Now, Nick, we would like to talk about your future and what's happening in 2015. I know there's been lots of questions coming your way. Are you able to give us any further information?
Not right now, to be honest. It all happened really, really late. So obviously entries closed for next year, and James Roseberg and the whole team wasn't in a position to enter the car due to not being able to secure enough money to make sure we can do the program properly. So at the moment, it's all a bit up in the air. I've got some really good options out there, but I can't thank James Roseberg enough. He got me on the grid this year and gave me the chance to show what I could do. And I think the job we've done this year with the 4th car and a new team, it's put me in a really good position for years to come, because people realise I can do the job. The car's coming back straight, but my whole crew, I can't thank them enough. They're all off in different directions next year. I'm taking new opportunities in Europe and a few things like that, and they've done a ripper job, so I can't thank them enough.
You're a former Bathurst 1000 winner. You've been on the podium this year. You certainly deserve a position on the grid in 2015.
Cool, thank you.
Thanks, Nick.
Thanks.
Former race winner in the Dunlop Series and also in Porsche Carrera Cup. This will answer the Macaulay Jones issue. He's gone in side on at the final corner, and that's, of course, a lap before he's been stuck at pit entry, but that's obviously caused what's gone wrong with the Rockstar Commodore, hence why it's going to need some assistance to get back to the paddock here at Sydney Olympic Park. Taz Douglas, Bathurst runner-up.
Wouldn't mind having a chat with him, actually.
I reckon he might be going for a wander down to Matt Stone Racing to ask them what their driver was thinking, because he's ended up in the wall. He's had a very good year, though. Runner-up with James Moffat at the great race at Bathurst, and Rihanna is stalking him down. Get in there.
I am stalking him, unfortunately. Taz, sorry to interrupt you here, but we just need to have a quick chat to you what's happened out there on the track.
Yeah, just getting into the race there, getting into a rhythm, and Ash obviously got a bad start and he's trying to come back through, and I think when he's a little bit back, it's a lot easier to pass guys, but as you get towards the front, people aren't just going to let you past, and we're obviously just breaking it that bit deeper, and he's obviously misjudged and crashed into someone again. So it's not the first time he's done it. He hasn't got the nickname Crashly Walsh for no reason, so everybody's used to it. So he won't be in the category next year, so we'll go do it to the main guys, see how they like it.
I'm very disappointed, Taz Douglas. Thank you.
I guess, Rihanna, that's one way you could put it. Very disappointed. Not the president of the Ash Walsh fan club, it could be said.
No, there'll be no Christmas drinks with them this year, I don't believe.
And this is the incident that he's talking about. Taz in the silver number 10 car. Ash Walsh trying to get through, and Pedersen, innocent bystander in all of that. And I still can't believe Marcus Sukanovic wasn't in the crash.
That was a very close moment for Marcus.
Have a look in the background. The blue Falcon, next one through, it's sideways.
There would have been breath holding going on there.
And you know why? Because that car's for sale. This is his last week in the Dunlop Series. It's easier to sell it when it's straight than when it's mangled.
Values drop pretty quickly when you've got a damaged race car. Exactly. Very unfortunate. Feel sorry for Taz. See, he has left nothing on the table with explaining how he feels about what happened. There might be a few words at the end of it too between him and Ash Walsh, I would imagine.
Brad Jones, our own Neil Crompton,
Talking about the old days.
Bit of race driver 101 down there.
Yep.
Bradley turns his back on him.
There's Macaulay.
There's Macaulay in the background. Plenty going on, Murph, around here. We've seen Heritage Touring cars. Armour all show and shine. There's some amazing muscle. And you want it shined? This is the place to go. Have a look at some of these. This is top-notch stuff for all the fans to come and have a look at. Some pride and joys. Oh, Tirana XU1, GTR, fantastic stuff. There's a combi in there as well.
A lot of pride, a lot of time, a lot of energy going into a lot of those vehicles. It's amazing to see how many people have that passion here in Australia.
That's a lot of polishing, that's for sure. Still under safety car here with the Dunlop Series, third time in this race. It's the final of the year for the Dunlop Series.
Race control safety car, off circuit.
As we get set for a restart, we'll have a time certain finish because of the yellow flag laps that we've had to run here. So you can see the clock starting to count down. Can Cam Waters finish it off with a race win and a round win? He's in the box seat at the moment. Green flags fly. We've got a restart on the streets of Sydney. Aaron Russell in second spot stands to finish second for the weekend. And on the podium, if he can stay there. And Andrew Jones is trying to fight off Todd Hazelwood, who's been menacing but hasn't had some clear running with all these safety cars to really have a go just yet.
No, he's looking really racy, and I think, as I said before, Jones just seems to be struggling a little bit with the speed. Certainly doesn't have it of the front two guys. Hazelwood lights ablaze. I don't reckon the action's over yet. We are on a time-set race, but there's still some positions that I think can change. Paul Morris right behind Chris Pither. He's looking to move forward a little bit, get a few more points. The finishing order there from second back a little bit has not been sorted out. Cam Waters done everything right so far, though, to claim that second spot. This will only be his second win if he manages to pull this one off for the season, which is a bit of a surprise considering the year, the speed that he has shown. Hazelwood again, showing the nose to Andrew Jones. They'll all be aware of this position, this corner here. It caused the last safety car.
There's Ash Walsh. He's back in position 17. He cannot be the runner-up in the series if he runs back there. There's Andre Heimgartner putting a move on Brett Hobson in the Pacific Hoist Commodore. Matt Hansen from Western Australia just up in front in the old Monster 888 car. This fight continues for third spot. Hazelwood had the rear chirping on the way in there. Paul Morris right with him. Chris Pither right with him. Then Marcus Sukanovic, Shay Davies, Jeff Emery, and Tim Macro doing a really nice job. Missed yesterday's race, sits in position 10 for the R Sport Race Engineering team. But Jones has been able to just skip away here from Hazelwood, and now it's Pither who's starting to attack the back of Paul Morris in the United 67 car.
Jones has just got a couple of tenths on Hazelwood, so he's got a little bit of a breather just to try and collect it all up. Pither, he's looking reasonably racy. He'd be desperate to try and get past Paul Morris here. Might have a little bit more speed. There's Sukanovic. Last race in the category. Sydney Olympic Park has just thrown up so much action over the years. This place is demanding. You look at the cars bouncing over these curbs. So easy just to make the smallest mistake, and when you do, there is just no room to recover.
And the track's hard enough because of the undulation, because of the curbs, the concrete, but then you add in the humidity, the heat. These are longer races generally than the Dunlop Series drivers have done in the past before, so it's good sort of preparation for the main game. I was just pausing for a moment there to see who popped up the hill, and it was Ash Walsh putting a move on Brett Stewart, so that gets him to position 14, but he needs to finish third or better to be runner-up in the series. That's not going to happen, and it's going to be Cam Waters at this rate who will pick up the runner-up spot. He'll pick up a race win, and it would also be Cam's first overall round win. We still have the round victory, most points for the weekend in the Dunlop Series, just as we used to do in the V8 Supercar Championship. This is Andrew Jones. He's on target for third in the race and third for the round, and even if Hazelwood got him, it wouldn't take him off the podium for the weekend.
We saw a bit of a domination yesterday by Paul Dunlop, our champion, who was out of this race, unfortunately, right at the beginning. But this time round, Cam Waters, after showing the speed he had in qualifying, has just commanded this race from the beginning and has disappeared the fastest 3 laps of the race so far. Aaron Russell doing his best to chase him down. But this battle, we've still got a few laps to run. But it's coming to an end, being that we've had 3 safety cars. This race will be cut short.
replay at turn 1. This is Kurt Kostecki again. Outbreaking himself.
Oh,
made it around. Just. Back to this fight for third, Andrew Jones. We saw him in the Enduros again, team up with Jason Bright for Team BOC. Of course, Paul Morris, the Bathurst victor, with Chaz Moss in that amazing final lap. And there's Heimgartner in the background, trying to get a move on Jeff Emery. That gets him to position 9. Now it does. He's got it clear, so one more spot done.
The young Kiwi, he's lining up next year on the main game grid with Super Black Racing. Bit of a wide line there for Brett Stewart as he just holds it off the wall, we think. Such a tricky racetrack. There he is again at a couple of corners later. Unfortunately, Brett has looped it around, recovers, leaves a couple of big black lines behind. That car's been in the fence. He's got a smashed rear screen. Here we go. Oh, yeah, looks like he may have got some assistance there to send the Commodore into the wall. So action all the way through the field. Cam Waters, though, look at this. Huge lead now, over 3 seconds. Doing it nice and easy from Aaron Russell. Here he comes. Second place, the battle for third. It is running out of time for Todd Hazelwood to do something about Andrew Jones. He's still pushing hard.
So we've run out of time. We'll have +1 lap, so the rest of this one and then one more to bring this on around. Cam Waters with a comfortable lead. He's done a really nice job over the course of this weekend. He's been fast all year. We've talked about that before. He's made some errors. He's made some mistakes, but he's learning from them and starting to put it into practice. There's Aaron Russell. I think he's done a stunning job this year. He's got his brother Drew on the radio to him. Their father Wayne involved. It's a real little family team. 1 lap to go in 2014, and Cam Waters is on target for another win.
Andrew Jones still managing to hold out a fast finishing for the year. Todd Hazelwood. Last time round, the Sydney precinct for 2014. These guys have been battling all year. It's been a strong Dunlop series in 2014, and they're still pushing. In the background there, Marcus Zucanovic in his last race in the Dunlop series, hanging up the helmet. After this, he's in the gap. The inside, over the curb. I think he's going to have to look at giving that spot back, potentially. Got down there, took the... Yes, he has. He's given the spot back to Andrew Jones. Didn't get the pass done clean enough and realised he was going to have to give it back. Pither in the background. On the 67 of Paul Morris, putting the pressure on. This fight has been going on the whole race that we've been under green. Heimgartner in the background, trying to recover from that shocking start. Got involved on the first lap with our champion, Paul Dumbrell, who ended up in the fence. And Andrew Jones a little defensive, only a few corners left. Zucanovic and Heimgartner fighting it out, but here is our race leader. Cam Waters has done this beautifully today.
Last corner, checkered flag awaits. He will be the runner-up for 2014. He breaks through for his first round win in the Dunlop Series. Cam Waters picks up the final race of the year. Aaron Russell is second in the race and round. Andrew Jones survives what was a really entertaining last couple of laps.
Got to take my hat off to Todd Hazelwood for having a crack there on the last lap, down the inside in turn 2. What a great move. He tried it on, didn't quite get it done. They gave the position back to Andrew Jones, but there he is, the NZ Falcon. What a stunning performance from pole position.
Picks up the runner-up position in the Dunlop Series for 2014. It's been great to bring it to you right throughout the course of this year across all 7 rounds. To recap the results, Waters, Russell and Jones, they will stand on the podium and spray some champagne. Todd Hazelwood 4th from the dude Paul Morris. Chris Pither next from Marcus Zucanovic. Heimgartner got his way back to 8th. Shea Davies, a nice debut. He finishes 9th, and Jeff Emery rounds out the top 10. But Paul Dumbrell, for the second time in his V8 Supercar career, is the Dunlop Series champ. Eggleston Motorsport pick up their first crown in V8 Supercar racing some 12 years after PD won his first. Qualifying for the V8s is not too far away. Let's go for a hot lap around Sydney Olympic Park with none other than Marcus Ambrose for GoPro.